Yeah, I think we've had a good week, and we're excited to put the finishing touches on prep tomorrow and play the game on Saturday. So I don't know if that works for an open statement. I think we've made it through relatively healthy. We're going to need to see where Issa is as the week goes. This will go all the way up to game time. Chase Gillespie also, I think, will be unavailable Saturday. And otherwise, I think we have a pretty fresh and pretty healthy team. So I feel good about where we are that way, and just excited. So happy to answer questions.
I heard the band was at South Carolina, and I remember in the past they would pick one road trip a year to go to. Has it changed to where they're going to go to more games? And how do you feel about all that?
Well, first of all, I loved having them there, and I would love to have them at any game they can make it to. I don't know I don't have all those answers, but they do such a great job. We appreciate the work and time they put into supporting us, and they make a difference. So I hope that they're able to make more. I don't know the answer, but yeah, it was great to have them there, and they made a difference.
How would you describe, Steve Gregory's style as a play caller and how it might be different from yours?
There's a lot in the process. I mean, again, I think his time we spent together last year as I was in that role, but he was really kind of, if I was 1A, he was 1B. I mean, he was right there along the way, and eventually kind of he took over a lot of the process. The process hasn't changed, and a lot of times as a play caller, it's not so much about you're making fewer decisions in the moment. Most of the decisions have been kind of plotted out according to what you believe to be true about an opponent's personality. So the process hasn't changed. I think he has really good instinct in the moment for when to dial up a pressure, when to play it more as a four-man rush zone. I've been pleased with kind of how he's managed all that. Of course, I saw that in the last 4 games last year too with him, and there's a lot of similarities. I would probably say he's got a little better feel than I have. I was a little more, and I've always been a little more kind of just process driven, and so maybe a little more predictable that way for me. And I think he's been able to kind of show a little more complexity in the calls he gets to on the call sheet. He's getting more done off that sheet than I would. Typically, I would stay kind of in the safest places on the sheet. He'll go to the full extent of it. So,
as a defensive coach, how do you develop trust with a new defensive coordinator like that, especially being a first-time play caller?
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously, none of the decisions we made a year ago with respect to bringing him here and then also ultimately handing play calling over, none of that was done haphazardly. I mean, there was a real, I can't emphasize how much he and I work hand in hand and how similarly we see the world, So it's like there's nothing that where he's operating outside the framework of the process that we've agreed upon, and so it's just there's a really there's a familiarity there, there's a closeness there. We're on the same page, and what he has added some things, and not in terms of necessarily the tactics, although we've developed the system, we've evolved the system. I think his teaching style has also helped in certain ways with walkthroughs and different things, where I was more play driven. He's more alignment assignment driven. I think that we've played in better structure because of that. So where I might take a 15-minute period and try to run 25 plays at the defense in a walkthrough, he's going to take that same time and do basically a deployment where there's communication, rotation, and it's really more him thinking on his feet. I think that's helped our guys. And, outside of that, I mean, the belief in terms of foundational success is year-long evolution. So we don't wait until the season to figure out who we are and what we need to improve upon. We set in place a course from January all the way through training camp to attack the things that we want to improve on. And that means we've studied it, we've decided upon adjustments, we've taught those, we've trained those, and we've done that through winter cycle, spring cycle, summer cycle. And that'll never change. So when you spend that much time on something, spend that much time together, there's not a lot of like cracks there, right? It's very tight, very connected, and very collaborative that way.
You talked about it a little bit with the band, but how nice is it, and what kind of impact does the traveling students and the traveling fans have? And kind of looked like there was a pretty significant presence in South Carolina, especially by the end of the game when a lot of the home fans left. So what kind of impact does that have?
That's huge. I mean, we appreciate the support. We appreciate people making an effort to come see us on the road. The students' experience is near and dear to me because, I think there's this, we can enhance their experience here. We enhance their engagement here, and them showing up and being excited about what we're doing on the field means a lot to me because I know that's going to be meaningful to them as they reflect back in 10, 15, 20 years on their time at Vanderbilt. That community never goes away, right? Once you're an alum, you stay connected, you stay involved, you stay engaged. And so as we think about where this program can go down the road, we think about how we're building that young, youthful community of fans that have high expectations for what Vanderbilt football should be. The other supporters are community supporters. Obviously, that's very meaningful. And in Nashville, we fight with we compete against a lot of entertainment. This is a town of music and professional sports. And so for people to dedicate their time and money and resources to support our team, whether it's traveling to an away game or showing up for us at home, I don't take any of that for granted. And again, the job I want to do is put a product on the field that makes that investment worthwhile to them, where they feel like, hey, no matter the outcome, they're going to see a Vanderbilt football team that plays a certain way, and it's a reflection of the Nashville community, the toughness of our community, the togetherness of our community. We want that to kind of bleed through in the way we play down in, down out.
What's been the response from recruits so far after the last, couple of big wins?
There's energy, and I think, without getting too granular with respect to conversation, people are starting to pay attention to what we're doing. So the task now is to continue, right? Is not to have our heads up too long to where we lose focus on what's next. But from the bowl win to the off-season kind of energy to the Netflix, documentary to early season success, there's a lot here that is setting up for recruiting wins too. And what I am excited about is there's a little less convincing I have to do with respect to what's possible here. Right now, we have a long way to go in the season to find the potential of this team, but I think there's glimpses of the vision we've had from the start, and where, if I go back 5 years, there were very few glimpses of that. Now you don't have to look very hard to find the energy, the spirit, the importance of football in this program, and yet the best part of Vanderbilt football is its people. So for as excited as a recruit can be about what we're doing on the field, or a fan can be about what we're doing on the field, the coolest part of our program is within our program. And so for a recruit, for example, when they get pulled into that and they see this is different, this is relatedness is our edge, this is about connectivity and relationship, and that gives way to the performances, I think that's a way we can differentiate and really find a foothold in the recruiting landscape. We're still kind of in the mid part of that journey, but we're getting closer, and it's really exciting.